I'm trying to save up, and when I'm trying to get him, it's gonna be like 60-ish bucks. But problem being, I don't have a job because of COVID, so that kind of sucks. So I am living off my $10 a week allowance, and so I cannot afford to buy anything right now. Well, I mean, I can, but I'd rather not. Oh my god, my cat's playing with. Stop it. And my parents are also upstairs watching a movie, so I'm really, really sorry. I am going to be reading a book today, and I figured I would start out with my favorite book. Well, no, it's not my favorite book in this series, but it is my favorite series. It's Harry Potter. And this is the first book, so it's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So I'm going to read the first chapter to you guys. I'm gonna light a candle and turn all the lights off and read a little bedtime story, so yeah. Okay. So I turned off the big overhead light and I got a candle that is actually homemade. It is blueberry cobbler. So I'm gonna do a little tapping on that real quick. And here, the lighting's so weird because I still have the lamp on. I'm gonna turn the lamp off after. But here's the lighter. Follow the light. Follow the light. I absolutely love follow the light triggers. Why do they have to listen to TV so loudly? They're literally deaf. Yeah, smell it. It smells like blueberry cobbler. I don't want to light the candle because my cat's gonna set himself on fire. I just broke like half the wick off, but it's fine. Okay, he's behind my computer, so I'm gonna try to light it now. My freaking nose blew it out. So we're gonna try this again. Hold it away from my nose this time. So, okay. So the candle is right here. And I'm going to start reading the book. And I just remembered that I need light right, so hopefully this isn't too bad. This is painted over because this summer, when we all found out that J.K. Rowling was a transphobic, homophobic, horrible person, I painted over all of my books. I was super rebellious this summer. Harry Potter is like my favorite series. I just hate the author. So I am actually a huge equal rights activist. Sorry if that makes me lose subscribers, but I just think that everyone is equal. We all deserve to be treated equally because we are all equals at the end of the day. was such nonsense. Mr. Dursley was the director of a firm called Grunnings, which made drills. He was a big, beefy man with hardly any neck at all, though he did have a very large mustache. Miss Dursley was a thin and blonde, and had nearly twice the usual amount of neck, which came very useful as she spent much of her time grinning over garden fences, spying on the neighbors. The Dursleys had a small son called Dudley. In their opinion, there was no finer boy anywhere. The Dursleys had everything they wanted, but they also had a secret, and their greatest fear was that someone would discover it. They didn't think that they could bear it if anyone found out about the Potters. Mrs. Potter was Mrs. Dursley's sister, but they hadn't met for several years. In fact, Mrs. Dursley pretended she didn't have a sister. Where was I? In fact, Mrs. Dursley pretended she didn't have a sister because her sister was a good-for-nothing husband were un-Dursley as possible to be. The Dursleys shuddered. The Dursleys shuddered to think that what their neighbors would say if the Potters arrived in the street. The Dursleys knew that the Potters had a small son too, but they had never seen him. The boy was another good reason to keep the Potters away. They didn't want Dudley mixing with a child like that. When Mr. and Mrs. Dursley woke up on a gray Tuesday, our story starts. There was nothing about the cloudy sky outside to suggest that a strange, mysterious thing would soon be happening all over the country. Mrs. Dursley hummed as he picked up out the most boring tie for work. Mrs. Dursley gossiped away happily as she wrestled a screaming Dudley into his high chair. I'm sorry, it's really late. It's like 11 o'clock where I live. So, I actually have like an above average reading level. Like, I read at a college level. It's really weird. But I can read in my head like that. But like when I'm trying to read like long chapter books out loud, I'm like okay, let's continue. None of them noticed a large 20 owl fluttered past the window. At 8:30, Mr. Dudley picked up his briefcase, pecked Mrs. Dudley on the cheek, and tried to kiss Dudley goodbye, but missed. Because Dudley was having a tantrum and throwing his cereal at the wall, quote, "Little Dyke," chortled Mr. Dudley as he left the house. He got into his car and backed out of number 4's drive. It was at the corner of the street that he noticed the first sign of something peculiar. A cat reading a map. For a second, Mr. Dursley didn't realize what he had seen. Then he jerked his head around to look again. There was a tabby cat standing in the corner of Private Drive, but there wasn't a map in sight. What could he have been thinking of? It must have been a trick of the lights. Mr. Dursley blinked and stared at the cat. It stared back. As Mr. Dursley drove around the corner up the road, he watched the cat in his mirror. It was now reading the sign that said Private Drive. No, looking at the sign, he couldn't read the maps or the signs. Mr. Dursley gave himself a little shake and put the cat out of his mind. As he drove towards the town, he thought of nothing except a large order of trails he was hoping to get that day. But on the edge of town, trails were driven out of his mind by something else. He sat in the usual morning traffic jam. He couldn't help but noticing there seemed to be a lot of strangely dressed Oh god, the cat's back. I don't want to blow the candle out. But I don't want my cat to set himself on fire. He's only like 5 months old. He'll just like jump up here and set himself on fire. I really like the mood that this is setting, actually. It's really fun. They were whistling excitedly together, peering excitedly together. Mr. Dursley was enraged to see that a couple of them weren't young at all. Why, that man had to be older than he was, and wearing an emerald green cloak. The nerve of him. But then it struck Mr. Dursley that this was probably some silly stunt. Yes, these people were obviously collecting for something. Yes, that would be it. The traffic moved on, and a few minutes later, Mr. Dursley arrived at the Grunnings parking lot. His mind was back on drills. Mr. Dursley always sat with his back to the window in his office on the 9th floor. If he had it, he might have found it harder to concentrate on drills that morning. He didn't see the owl swooping past in broad daylight, though people down the street did. They pointed and gazed, mouth open, as owl after owl overhead. Most of them had never seen an owl, even at nighttime. Mr. Dursley, however, had a perfectly normal owl-free morning. He yelled at 5 different people. He made several important telephone calls and shouted a bit more. He was in a very good mood until lunchtime, when he thought he'd stretch his legs and walk across the road to buy himself a bun from the bakery. He'd forgotten all about the people dressed in cloaks until he passed a group of them next to the baker's. He eyed them angrily as he passed. He didn't know why, but they made him uneasy. This bunch were whispering excitedly, too, and he couldn't see a single collecting tin. It was on his way back past them, clutching a large donut in his bag, that he got a few words of what they were saying. The Potters, that's right, that's what I heard. Guess their son, Harry. Mr. Dursley stopped dead. Fear flooded him. He looked back at the whispers, as if he wanted to say something to them, but he thought better of it. Okay. So, I did not realize that the first chapter was almost 20 pages. Stop sniffing the lighter. Stop that. And I already have 17 minutes of footage. This isn't going to be 17 minutes because like 5 of it is me yelling at my cat. So, I will finish off the chapter in a later episode if you guys would like to see more. But I'll just leave you as Mr. Dursley hearing about all the weird people dressed in cloaks talking about this